This is number 3, and Prashant, this is a big one because inflation is here. It's not going away, and I think it's important for everyone watching to at least admit we do have inflation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredibly important. Prices will start to go up. The purchasing power of your dollars will over time erode, and it's important to have a plan in place for how you're going to deal with that.
Yeah. So now for the people out there, and I talk to people every day, and some people say, well, I don't believe there's inflation. They sit here like this with their arms crossed. Think about what you paid for your first house.
Yeah.
And then think about what you paid for your last car. Many of you who did this exercise will think about in your head how you paid more for your last house than you did your first car, and you can't live in the car. Yeah. Or I mean, you pay a lot of money for things these days, and cars have got more expensive. They have a lot more options. They're like computers on wheels. Yep. But you can't live in a car still. I mean, the house is the most important thing. Myself, I paid $109,000 for my first house in 1996. I've never bought a car for over $100,000. Yeah. But you know how I can see cars get more and more expensive too.
Right.
What do you think that the people out there who are planning for retirement, why is inflation important to factor in?
Well, you don't want to retire on one standard of living and then find yourself 10 or 15 years down the road and not now have enough to just meet what your needs are.
Right.
And it's when you retire, it's not just about the needs, it's also about the wants, right?
Well, the wants make a very successful retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. And so 10, 15, 20 years into your retirement, you don't want to be left in a position because of poor planning that you didn't plan for inflation, that you can't have those wants that really make retirement fun.
And we're in a lower inflationary environment.
Yeah, sure.
But we still have, things are still getting more expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you reach retirement, the theory is you're not getting a paycheck anymore. So you need to make sure your plan that you've built, your income plan, increases in value or increases in income over the years so you can combat inflation.
Right. And, you know, things are always going to increase in cost. We know healthcare is rising, long-term care is rising. But even, you know, your daily groceries and gas and everything else, those costs are going to go up over time, and you have to find a way to build in some additional income or inflation protection if that type of thing.
When you talk about medical inflation, I mean, that's out of control right now. And drug prices, that kind of stuff. So, but just making sure that at least you have growth in your portfolio that's at least keeping up with inflation, very important. Now, a lot of people are putting money in bank accounts because they're scared of the stock market.
Right.
And if you're lucky in a bank, you're getting 1%.
If you're lucky.
Inflation right about 2 or 3%. So you are losing buying power each year by keeping your money in a safe place. I call it losing money safely.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? That's very common, especially with the fear surrounding the stock market and how high it is right now. But there's ways to, you know, kind of take advantage of the market or take advantage of other ways to create additional income to make sure that you have enough income supplementation in retirement.
So at least admitting that inflation exists and putting a plan together that, hey, if you have a plan that is growing good, and maybe inflation isn't existing and it's not as high as you think, at least you got more money, right?
Absolutely.
So there's not a bad thing. There's not a bad answer here to basically plan for inflation.
Yeah.
Good thing. All right, now we're going to talk about when we come back, number 4 on the 7 blind spots, taxation.
Yeah.
Not going away. We need to plan for it. We need to look forward. We need to do tax planning. We'll talk about that when we come back.